There was a time when Marcus Williams had everything figured out. A successful man, a luxury apartment in downtown Los Angeles, a beautiful wife named Crystal, and a promising position at his father's real estate company. But the truth? The truth was much darker than anyone could imagine. Crystal believed her husband loved her. For 7 years, she stood by him through everything. She quit her job at the accounting firm to support his dreams. She managed the household, planned his social events, wore the dresses he wanted her to wear. She made herself smaller with each passing year. Then, one morning, everything shattered. Marcus came home at 2 a.m. with lipstick on his collar. When she asked him about it, he laughed, and said, "Don't be pathetic, Crystal. You're not interesting enough to keep a man's attention. You never were." Those words cut deeper than any blade. But she stayed. She always stayed. But the real blow came 3 months later. Crystal discovered she was pregnant. She was terrified and excited at the same time. She ran to Marcus with tears of joy streaming down her face. His reaction? Silence. Cold, empty silence. "Get rid of it," he said finally, not even looking up from his phone. "What?" Crystal whispered. "I said get rid of it. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for you." Crystal's hands trembled. "Marcus, this is our baby." "No, it's your baby, and frankly, I'm done with this marriage. I met someone else, someone beautiful, someone interesting, someone who isn't you." And just like that, Marcus packed a bag and left. He filed for divorce. He cut off all her bank cards. He left her with nothing. No money, no job prospects, no family to turn to. Crystal had burned every bridge to be with him. But what happened next would change everything. Within weeks, with no income and bills piling up, Crystal found herself living in her car. A 7-month-old Toyota Camry parked behind an abandoned warehouse. Every night she cried in the darkness, rubbing her swollen belly, whispering promises to the baby inside. "I'm sorry, little one. I'm so sorry. I'll find a way. I promise you, I'll find a way." Where are you watching from? And what time is it there right now? Drop it in the comments below. I want to know who's out there experiencing this with me. She took whatever job she could find, cleaning offices at 4 a.m., stocking grocery stores until 2 a.m. Her legs ached, her back screamed. The baby kicked constantly as if saying, "Mom, you're so strong, keep going." And she did keep going, because that little life inside her was the only reason worth surviving for. One night, parked behind a shopping center, Crystal went into labor. She was alone, absolutely alone. She drove herself to the county hospital, screaming through contractions, crying, terrified. And there, in a room filled with the antiseptic smell of fear and hope, she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She named her Hope. The nurse who delivered her was kind, older. She looked at Crystal's chart. No address listed, no insurance, no emergency contact. The nurse saw the truth written all over that girl's face. Pain, courage, desperation. "Where's your family, baby?" the nurse asked gently. "There is no family," Crystal said, cradling her newborn. "Just me and Hope now, just us against the world." Marcus, meanwhile, married his mistress 6 months later. They bought a penthouse. They threw lavish parties. He became his father's right hand at the company, finally inheriting it when his father retired. Everything he touched turned to gold, everything except his soul. But here's what Marcus didn't know. Here's the secret that would destroy everything he built. During her time at the accounting firm, before she quit, Crystal had discovered something. A massive fraud scheme. Millions of dollars being laundered through shell companies. Properties being bought and sold at inflated prices. Money disappearing into accounts controlled by Marcus's father. She had never reported it because she was in love, because she was afraid, because she was weak. But now she had nothing to lose. While working night shifts cleaning the offices of a prestigious forensic accounting firm, Crystal befriended the lead investigator, Dr. Elena Rodriguez. One night, struggling with insomnia and desperation, Crystal broke down and told her everything. She had the numbers memorized. She knew the dates, the transfers, the shell companies. She knew where the bodies were buried. Dr. Rodriguez listened, and she believed her. "Crystal, do you understand what you're telling me?" Elena asked, her eyes widening. "This is massive. This is federal crime territory. If this is real..." It's real, Crystal said, her voice steady for the first time in months. Every word of it, and I have proof. Digital files, records I hid before I quit the company. I kept them. I knew one day I might need them. The investigation took 8 months, 8 months of interviews, subpoenas, forensic analysis, and then, like dominoes falling, the entire empire crumbled. Marcus's father was arrested. The property company was seized. Accounts were frozen. The penthouses were liquidated. Everything, every single piece of his perfect life, turned to ash. Marcus stood in his living room, watching federal agents carry out boxes of evidence when the agent in charge handed him a sealed envelope. Inside was a photograph and a letter. The photograph was of Crystal, but not the thin, broken woman who had crawled into his car. This Crystal was radiant, professional. She was wearing a Navy power suit, standing in an office labeled Vice President of Forensic Accounting. Hope, now 4 years old, stood beside her in a school uniform, holding her mother's hand and smiling. The letter read, "Marcus, I spent 7 years making myself small for you. 7 years apologizing for existing. I gave you everything and you threw it away like garbage. But here's what you taught me. Survival. You taught me that I was stronger than I ever believed. You taught me that I could start over. You taught me that revenge isn't about hurting someone else. It's about building yourself up so high that they can't even reach you anymore. I didn't expose your father's crimes to destroy you. I did it because it was right. But I won't lie. The fact that you're destroyed now, that's just a beautiful bonus. Hope asks about you sometimes." I tell her the truth. Her father was a man who chose money over her, a man who wasn't brave enough to love her. And you know what she says? She says she's glad she has me instead. You spent your life climbing a ladder only to find out it was leaning against the wrong wall. I'm building a new one, and when Hope and I reach the top, we won't even remember your name. I forgive you, Marcus. Not for you. For me. Because carrying that anger was heavy, and I'm done carrying anything that doesn't serve my daughter and me. Sincerely, Crystal. Marcus fell to his knees. Everything he had, everything he was, gone. But worse than that, she had moved on. She had built something beautiful. She had given their daughter a life he could never provide, and she had done it all without him. Here's the truth about revenge. It's not loud explosions or dramatic confrontations. It's becoming so extraordinary that the person who broke you realizes too late what they lost. It's thriving so completely that their destruction becomes irrelevant. It's living so beautifully that when they see your face on a Forbes magazine cover 5 years later, woman who started with nothing, Crystal Williams's journey to building a 50 million firm, they understand finally what they destroyed. Crystal didn't just survive, she became unstoppable. Now, I want to ask you something, and I need your honest answer in the comments below. What would you have done if you were in Crystal's shoes? Would you have exposed him, or would you have quietly moved on? And do you think she did the right thing by forgiving him?